Hello everybody, welcome back to Rosie TV. I'm your host, Alex Haboob, and today we're going to be talking about the Champions League, the most prestigious club competition in the world. Over the past few months, a lot of journalists have stated that the Champions League has gotten a little bit predictable, a little bit stale, and I'm here to argue in the defense of the Champions League and why it's not boring. Just looking at the key group stage matches from this season, how could anyone find Arsenal versus PSG boring, for example? Arsenal, obviously, usually struggling in Europe, not getting past the round of 16, and on countless occasions getting second in their group. This time, come out with a new confidence and end up topping their group, with PSG also losing their talisman in the summer, struggling to find their identity under new coach Unai Emery. This made for two very entertaining clashes, both ending in draws, but nonetheless still very entertaining. Another key match was Barcelona versus Manchester City. Barcelona, coached by Enrique, Manchester City with their new coach Pep Guardiola. Guardiola coming in with his toughest test yet against the best attack in the world. First game, getting thrashed 4-0. The second game, tactically outclassing Luis Enrique and getting that win, that very important win. Another key game in the group stage was between two European heavyweights, Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich. Last year, they met in the semifinals, and Atletico made it to the final after beating Bayern Munich on away goals. And this time, in their first game, it was really all up for grabs. The winner of that first game would really have the advantage and most likely finish top of the group. And that's exactly what happened. Atletico Madrid won that game 1-0 in typical Atletico Madrid style, and it ended up topping the group. Dortmund, Real Madrid. Dortmund, obviously last year, absent from Champions League, and this year under Thomas Tuchel having this pressing, attacking mentality, going against Real Madrid, who were the champions of Europe, and getting two draws against them, but then topping through because Real Madrid slipped up against Legia Warsaw and got a draw instead of a win. These were four very interesting matchups, but that wasn't the extent of it. There was many entertaining games during the group stage, and not just this year. Looking at last year's knockout round, probably the most entertaining game was the Juventus-Bayern game in the round of 16. Juventus, for large portions of that second game, were on top, and it took a late Bayern Munich equalizer to take it to extra time, and that's where Bayern Munich really kicked it up a notch and were able to score two more goals and eliminate Juventus, who were the year before that actually in the final. But for large portions of the game, Bayern Munich looked like they're out, quite frankly, and that would have been a big surprise, because although Juventus made the final the year before, Bayern Munich are a team that is consistently in the semifinals, and they looked like they were out as early as the as early as the round of 16. Another very entertaining game was the Wolfsburg-Real Madrid game in the quarterfinals. Wolfsburg coming in, surprising the world with a 2-0 win against Real Madrid in the first leg. And a lot of people thought that Real Madrid weren't going to make it past the quarterfinals and get hugely upset. The opposite happened. Real Madrid came in, a Ronaldo-led Real Madrid, and they won 3-0 and ended up actually winning the whole competition. Another criticism is that there's the same teams in the semifinals. Your usual suspects are Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, who have made the semifinals consistently over the past few years. But you look at our favorite domestic leagues, and the same teams are towards the top. I mean, in the BPL, Manchester City, Chelsea, and Arsenal, in 3 of the last 5 seasons, they finished in the top 4. Juventus with 5 Serie A titles in a row now, looking to make it 6 this season. Bayern Munich, 4 Bundesliga titles in a row. And the big 3 in Spain, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, and Real Madrid, in the past 4 seasons, They've all finished inside the top 3. So it just shows you that these teams are dominating their leagues. Less so in the Premier League. Yes, you do have the miracle story of Leicester City from last season, and you've seen Liverpool drop in and out of the top 4 as well as Spurs. But it's usually the same narrative for most of the other leagues, that these bigger teams are usually the most dominant ones. But that doesn't mean there's less entertainment. Maybe it's a little bit predictable for whoever's going to make the semifinals. But as I stated from the Juve Bayern game and the Wolfsburg Real Madrid game, nothing is guaranteed. Really, if they played their cards right, Wolfsburg could have made it to the semifinals. Juve could have eliminated Bayern in the round of 16. Finally, the last reason is no one's retained the Champions League title since it's been rebranded. I mean, before it was the Champions League, it was the European Cup. And starting from 1993, no one has retained the title. Every year, it seems that people are saying that, oh, this might be the year that Real Madrid or Barcelona retain the title, win it 2 years in a row. But it hasn't happened thus far. It might happen this year with Real Madrid, but nothing's guaranteed. And I think the timing of this is very poor because the last round of the group stage, which just passed last week, there was a lot of meaningless games. But in any group stage, usually the last game has that. Even in our favorite domestic leagues, for example, in the BPL, usually the 37th and the 38th match day really don't mean much. 11th can go against 6th, and there really won't be any difference if you win or lose. So this is basically the same thing. Obviously, the big example was Atletico Madrid and Bayern Munich. Their last game really didn't mean much because Atletico Madrid already guaranteed top spot and Bayern Munich already guaranteed runners-up. But I don't think that makes the Champions League less entertaining. If anything, it's always been like that. Now, you might not agree with me. You might think that, oh, there's still not the same feeling around the Champions League that it once had. Now, you might disagree with me, and if you do, please comment in the comment section below and explain why. Please hit a like on the video, and for more football content about the top 5 leagues in Europe, international football, Champions League football, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching.